They control global empires from the shadows, move billions in drugs, weapons and fear, and leave a trail of blood across borders and continents. These are the most elusive, the most ruthless. The mastermind behind terror attacks, mafia wars and human suffering on an unimaginable scale, from cartel kings to warlords, mafia bosses to terror financiers. These are the top 10 most dangerous criminals in the world in 2025. This isn't just crime, it's power, corruption and global chaos. Let's dive in. Number 10. Ridwan Taghi, often dubbed the Netherlands' most feared drug lord. Taghi rose to infamy as the ruthless leader of a sprawling cocaine trafficking gang. Under his command, the Mokra Mafia carried out assassinations of rivals, informants, and even a crime blogger's lawyer, brazenly killing to intimidate anyone who threatened their empire. Taghi's criminal legacy is one of brutality and cunning. He allegedly ordered murders as casually as ordering a coffee. After years on the run, he was captured in 2019 in Dubai and extradited to the Netherlands under tight security. Today, Taghi sits behind bars for multiple life sentences, but his trial, known as the Marengo case, exposed a reign of terror that shook even veteran investigators. His arrest ended an era of fear across Europe's underworld, though the echoes of his violent career still linger. Number 9. Rafael Caro Quintero, also known as the Narco of Narcos. A legendary figure from Mexico's 1980s narco wars, Caro Quintero co-founded the Guadalajara cartel and helped build the first major drug pipeline into the United States. He gained notoriety for ordering the 1985 kidnapping, torture and murder of DEA agent Kiki Camarena, a crime that forever cemented his reputation as one of the most dangerous cartel bosses. Imprisoned in Mexico for 28 years, Caro Quintero controversially walked free in 2013 due to a legal technicality, vanishing back into the drug world. The aging kingpin's freedom didn't last. He went into hiding but remained a top target. In July 2022, after nearly a decade on the FBI's most wanted list, Caro Quintero was captured again by Mexican Marines. A bloodhound sniffed him out hiding in the mountains. He has since been extradited to the US, where he now faces justice for his crimes. His saga, from ruthless cartel lord to fugitive and now prisoner once more, reflects the violent legacy of Mexico's old-school drug cartels. Number 8. Ismael El Mayo Zambada Garcia. For decades, El Mayo was the phantom co-founder of the Sinaloa cartel, quietly orchestrating a global narcotics empire from the shadows. Unlike his flashy partner El Chapo Guzman, Mayo evaded capture for over 40 years by living modestly and moving constantly. He oversaw multi-ton shipments of cocaine, heroin, meth, and fentanyl, fueling a drug trade that reached every corner of the United States. Mayo gained a Robin Hood mystique in his native Sinaloa, reportedly showering villages with cash and favors. Yet, behind the benevolence lay a trail of blood. He allegedly ordered countless killings of rivals and traitors. In July 2024, in a stunning twist, the 76-year-old cartel don was lured onto a private plane and arrested by US authorities in El Paso, Texas. This marked the end of an era, the last of the old guard Mexican cartel bosses finally in custody. Now incarcerated and awaiting trial in New York, El Mayo's capture triggered tremors in the underworld, as his decades-long run from justice had made him nearly mythical. His downfall proves that even the most elusive kingpins can't hide forever. Number 7. Matteo Messina Denaro, also known as Diabolic, a Sicilian mafia boss so elusive that he became known as the last godfather. Messina Denaro spent 30 years as Italy's most wanted fugitive. Groomed within Cosa Nostra's bloody ranks, he was a young protege of the infamous boss of bosses, Salvatore Riina. Messina Denaro built a fearsome resume masterminding bombings that killed anti-mafia judges Giovanni Falcone and Paolo Borsellino in 1992, and personally committing numerous murders. He once bragged, "I filled a cemetery all by myself." Known for his playboy lifestyle, sports cars, designer suits and women, he nonetheless ruled by terror, presiding over extortion, arms trafficking and a vast drug pipeline across Europe. Despite massive manhunts, Messina Denaro vanished into thin air in 1993, taunting authorities for decades with rumors of plastic surgeries and high-level protectors. In January 2023, Italy finally got him. The 60-year-old mobster was arrested at a clinic in Palermo, where he'd been seeking cancer treatment under an alias. After a life in hiding, Messina Denaro succumbed to illness behind bars and died in prison in September 2023. His capture and death closed a notorious chapter of Sicilian mafia history, ending the reign of a brutal don who had evaded justice for far too long. Number 6, Joseph Kony, a name that became synonymous with child soldiers and unimaginable cruelty. Joseph Kony is the Ugandan warlord who led the Lord's Resistance Army, or LRA. Claiming to be a prophet, Kony unleashed a reign of terror across Central Africa starting in the 1980s. His LRA kidnapped tens of thousands of children, forcing boys to fight as soldiers and girls into sexual slavery. Kony's fighters mutilated civilians, slicing off ears and lips to sow fear, and massacred entire villages. Despite being indicted by the International Criminal Court in 2005 for war crimes and crimes against humanity, Kony remains an outlaw. International efforts to hunt him, including US Special Forces and African Union troops, weakened the LRA, yet the invisible warlord slipped away time and again. Now believed to be hiding in remote borderlands between Sudan and the Central African Republic, Kony is at large one of the world's most notorious fugitives. His army has dwindled and his powers may have waned, but Joseph Kony's legacy as a perpetrator of child exploitation and brutal violence has earned him a place among the world's most dangerous criminals. Number 5. Saif al-Adel. A former Egyptian Special Forces officer turned master terrorist, al-Adel is al-Qaeda's stealthy chief of global operations. Often described as Osama bin Laden's most dangerous disciple, Saif al-Adel, which means sword of justice, brings military precision to jihadist terror. He is believed to have helped plan the 1998 US embassy bombings in East Africa and trained some of the 9/11 hijackers. After 9/11, al-Adel became al-Qaeda's senior strategist, working from the shadows in Iran and Pakistan to rebuild networks while evading capture. Now in his early 60s, he's thought to be the de facto leader of al-Qaeda, following Ayman al-Zawahiri's death in 2022. With a $10 million US bounty on his head, Saif al-Adel remains at large, reportedly harbored in Iran where he plots quietly. His low profile belies his deadly influence, a calm, calculative figure pulling the strings of al-Qaeda's branches across the Middle East and Africa. Intelligence agencies fear al-Adel's expertise. He's an explosives expert and tactician who could orchestrate attacks with global impact. Though he seldom appears in propaganda videos, Saif al-Adel's ghostly presence is felt whenever al-Qaeda strikes, making him one of the most dangerous terrorist masterminds on the planet. Number 4, Simeon Mogilevich, alias the Brainy Dot, widely as considered the most powerful mafia boss in the world. Mogilevich is the Grand Don of Eastern Europe's organized crime. Born in Ukraine and now based in Moscow, this portly and soft-spoken man runs a transnational criminal empire that spans continents. Mogilevich's syndicate is involved in everything: arms dealing, drug trafficking, contract murders, massive fraud schemes, and even nuclear material smuggling. With a degree in economics, he launders money with sophisticated finesse, earning his Brainy Don nickname. The FBI once called him the most dangerous mobster alive for his ability to corrupt officials and operate with near impunity. Throughout the 1990s and 2000s, Mogilevich allegedly orchestrated $1 billion stock fraud, the YBM Magnex scam, and sold weapons to war zones. Despite multiple indictments in the United States, he has never faced trial. Russia refuses to extradite him, and he reportedly lives freely under government protection. Semyon Mogilevich remains at large, effectively untouchable in Russia. Now in his late 70s, he keeps a low public profile, but law enforcement believes he still commands a vast criminal network. His reach infiltrates financial systems and governments alike, making Mogilevich a uniquely dangerous criminal whose intellect and influence have stymied international justice for decades. Number 3. Dawood Ibrahim, alias B, India's most wanted gangster turned terrorist. Dawood Ibrahim rose from Mumbai's streets to become the mastermind behind a global crime syndicate known as D Company. In the 1980s, he muscled into Mumbai's underworld with extortion and contract killings, establishing himself as a criminal kingpin. But Dawood's most infamous act was the 1993 Bombay bombings, a series of 12 coordinated blasts that killed over 250 people. Indian authorities say Dawood financed and organized this terror attack as revenge for riots, cementing his status as a national enemy. He fled India and has since operated from the shadows, reportedly finding safe haven in Pakistan's port city of Karachi, though Pakistan denies it. D Company today spans drug trafficking, arms smuggling, counterfeiting, and money laundering across continents. Dawood Ibrahim has also been linked to Al-Qaeda and other extremist networks, blending organized crime with terrorism. Despite being designated a global terrorist by the United States and carrying a $25 million bounty, Dawood remains at large. In his 60s now, he's said to live under heavy protection, moving discreetly while his empire continues to smuggle narcotics and fund terror. Dawood Ibrahim's uncanny ability to evade capture for decades, all while directing a potent mix of crime and terror, marks him as one of the world's most dangerous criminals. Number 2, Ivan Archivaldo Guzman Salazar, alias El Chapito. The son of notorious drug lord El Chapo Guzman, Ivan Archivaldo has emerged as a violent prince of the Sinaloa cartel. Groomed in the family business from a young age, even now 40, leads the faction of the cartel known as Los Chapitos alongside his brothers. Don't be fooled by his baby-faced appearance. El Chapito is accused of flooding North America with fentanyl, a deadly synthetic opioid causing tens of thousands of overdose deaths. Under Ivan's command, Sinaloa's labs churn out fentanyl pills by the millions, generating billions in profit and leaving a trail of bodies from Mexico to Middle America. Rivals and traitors meet brutal ends. His faction is known for torturing and executing enemies in gruesome ways. Stories of dissolved bodies in acid and tigers used for maulings abound. The United States Justice Department indicted Ivan in 2019, and the State Department has offered $10 million for his capture. As of 2025, Ivan Archivaldo Guzman is at large, believed to be hiding in the cartel's mountain strongholds in Sinaloa, protected by squads of sicarios. Authorities warn that Ivan has maintained the cartel's power through extreme violence, ordering massacres and brazen attacks on Mexican security forces, even a city-wide siege in 2019 to free his brother Ovidio. With his father El Chapo serving life in a United States supermax prison, Ivan Archivaldo Guzman Salazar stands as the next generation narco royalty whose ruthless ambition and toxic drug pipeline make him one of the most dangerous criminals alive. Number 1, Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, alias El Mencho. At the top of this list sits the undisputed king of Mexico's drug underworld, El Mencho. As boss of the hyper-violent Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJN, Mencho has built a criminal empire that spans 6 continents, becoming the greatest threat in the Western Hemisphere's drug war. A former police officer turned kingpin, El Mencho is as cunning as he is brutal. His cartel dominates the methamphetamine and fentanyl trade, pumping vast quantities of synthetic drugs into the United States, poisoning communities, and fueling an unprecedented overdose epidemic. To secure this empire, Mencho unleashed paramilitary tactics. IJN gunmen have shot down a military helicopter with rocket launchers, ambushed government convoys, and hung the bodies of tortured rivals from bridges. Under Mencho's rule, entire Mexican towns have been besieged. He famously put a $10,000 bounty on police officers' heads at one point. Despite an extreme low profile, few photos of Mencho exist, and he reportedly eschews cell phones. His presence is felt everywhere in Mexico, from mass graves of cartel victims to convoys of narco tanks patrolling Jalisco's mountains. United States authorities have placed a $15 million reward on him, the highest for any drug lord. Yet Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes remains at large, allegedly hiding in the rugged terrains of western Mexico, protected by loyal sicarios and local villagers paid to guard him. His evasion continues to frustrate authorities on both sides of the border. El Mencho's combination of large-scale drug trafficking, audacious military-style violence, and ability to outsmart manhunts makes him the most dangerous criminal in the world going into 2025. Now you know who are the 10 most dangerous criminals in the world. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.